Hey, hello and welcome to today's GFG problem of the day. Hope you're doing well. So let's say today's problem, convert array into zigzag fashion. So what the problem is saying is given an array of distinct elements of size A, and the task is to rearrange the elements of the array in a zigzag fashion so that the converted array should be in the below form. That is, the first element should be less than the second element. The second element should be greater than the third element. Third element should be greater than the fourth element, and so on. Okay. Modify the given array only if your transformation is correct. The output will be 1, else the output will be 0. So it's an easy category problem. So what the problem is saying is, let's say through an example. For example, if this is the array, right? So what we want is, we want to have the first element as a lesser element, right? The first element should be lesser than the next element, right? So it should be this way. Then this next element should be greater than this third element, right? The second element. So now we have to swap again. So for example, in the first stage, right? After swapping these elements, right? What is the state of the array? It is this, right? Now our I will come here, right? And what it wants is, we want to have this, the element at this position should be greater than, right? Alternate, we want to have zigzag. The elements in zigzag fashion, right? So 7, 4, 8, 6, 2, and 1. So our pointer will be here now. So what? Now it's alternate. We want to have this as a lesser element, and yes, it is the lesser element than the next element, right? So this is the state. For example, the next state. Now our pointer will be here again. So now what we want to do is, we want to have this as a greater element, right? And it is greater. Okay. Then we'll have a pointer next. So we will need some mechanism, right? To tell us or to indicate us that when we want to have a smaller element than the next element, right? Smaller element of greater element than the next element in comparison to the next element, right? So what we'll do, we'll have a toggle button. For example, let's say, this is array, right? So we'll have a toggle button. Let's take the toggle button here. Toggle flag. Okay. And let's say we have set it as true, right? Now what we'll do, our pointer will be here. We'll check if the current element, the first element should be lesser than, right, than the next element. And we'll check if toggle is true. Yes, it is true. Then we will swap the element. 3, 4, 7, 8, 6, 2, and 1. After this, we'll also set it, we'll toggle the button. Okay. So we'll set it as false. Now pointer is here, right? So this element, now we'll check if the current element, if toggle is what? If toggle is false, that means now the time is that the current element should be greater than the next element. Okay. So toggle is false, and the current element is not greater than the next element. So we'll swap. Okay. Our pointer is here. Also, along with that, before moving the pointer ahead, we'll also toggle this, right? True. Now we'll check if toggle is true. That means the current element has to be less than the next element, right? So it is the case. The current element is less than. So we won't change anything here, but we'll toggle again. We'll set it as false, right? We'll move the pointer ahead. Okay. Now again, now the toggle is false. That means the current element has to be greater than the next element. It is the case. It is greater than 6. So we won't do anything, but we'll toggle this. Okay. And we'll move ahead the pointer. Okay. Now the toggle is 2. That means the current element has to be less than the next element. Okay. So here 6 is greater than 2. So we want to change it, right? So what we'll do, 3, 7, 4, 8. We'll swap these two elements, right? 2 and 6 and 1. Okay. Also we'll toggle. We'll set it as false, and our pointer will increment the pointer here. Okay. Now when the toggle is false, the current element has to be greater than the next element. So it is the case, we won't do anything, but we'll just toggle. Okay. We'll set it as true. Now when we come here, our for loop or while loop will break. Okay. And this will be the final state of the array. So if you see here, right, this is the final 3748261, 3748261. Okay. So this is the intuition behind solving the problem. I hope you've understood the intuition. Before going to the code, I'll request you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. So let's quickly code Boolean, right? We'll take a toggle. So I'll show the Java code only because the C++ code is almost same, except this in C++ we have bool, right? So quickly, let me write the code. Right? The code. So let's set it as true. So when the toggle is true, we want the current element to be less than the next element, and we'll also go till n-1. That is the second last element because we are checking for the next element, right? Okay. Now what we'll check, if add, first of all, if toggle is true, right? Then the current element has to be lesser than the next element. But we'll check if it is greater than, then we have to change the array, right? We have to change the solve the position, swap the elements, right? So let me quickly int temp equal to r of I plus 1 equal to r, oh sorry, r of I again, r of I plus 1 equal to 10. Else if toggle is false, right? And that, so if toggle is false, we want the current element to be greater than the next element. But if it is lesser than, the next element, then we want to swap the elements again, right? Okay. And simply after each iteration, we are going to toggle the, make it, if it is false, we'll make it true. If it is true, we'll make it false. So this is a code. Request you to subscribe to my channel. This cannot find. Okay. Some typo. Okay, yes, the cases are accepted. Thanks for watching. If I hope you've got the solution. This is a Java and C++ code. Also, the time complexity is O of n. Okay, O of n, and space complexity is O of 1. Okay, I hope you've got the solution. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Have a happy, healthy, and a great day. Thank you.